Let's just jump right into it. Today we are talking about exits, focusing on your feet on an exit. That might sound a little bit silly. Maybe some of you have thought about this before, but you know, I've been going around talking with a lot of really great, talented skydivers. We've been filming a lot of courses for Crave. I've had an opportunity to interview a lot of these people, these instructors, ask them a lot of questions and learn a lot of really good stuff from them. These are very experienced, talented, skilled skydivers. And one of the things that I've heard them say over and over, almost to a person, almost every single instructor, whether it's in their actual course content where they're teaching on things, or just in conversation, or jumping together where they're giving me tips and coaching me or whatever. One of the things that comes up consistently is paying attention to your feet when you're exiting the plane. And it sounds like it, you know, at first when I first, you know, one of them was telling me, focus on your feet, I didn't think that could make that much of a difference. And it actually does. It makes a very big difference. And it's a very simple thing to start paying attention to. It's a very simple thing to implement and to use in making your exits better and smoother and having more control over your body when you exit the plane. So the thing is, what you're gonna wanna do is you wanna focus on your feet, which foot is most inside of the plane. So if the plane is traveling this direction forward and I'm exiting on my belly, and I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter what type of jump you're doing, but most of the time this is gonna be correct. This is gonna help you. So let's just say let's say we're doing an angle jump, okay? We're leaving this way. I'm coming out of the plane on my belly. So I wanna think about my inside foot. So that's, for me, if the plane is going this way and I'm exiting on my belly, my inside foot would be my right foot. My outside foot would be the left, right? If I was hanging on the door, my left leg, my left side would be outside, my right side would be inside. So however you set up in the door, whatever you need to do, you want that inside foot to be the last thing to leave the plane. And so you actually might even want to think about setting up with your feet. So your inside foot and your outside foot, actually setting up with your feet one in front of the other. And so this would be your inside foot, right? As you leave the plane, you want that inside foot to be the last thing that's in connection with the plane as you go out the door, so that you're naturally pushing off of that foot that's on the plane. I know it sounds obvious. It even sounds intuitive, but I'm telling you, unless you consciously think about it, people do this backwards all the time. I've watched my friends, I've watched my students, even myself. When you're not thinking about the placement of your feet and what you're doing with your feet when you exit, I've seen people over and over and over again get crossed up to where the outside foot is actually what they're pushing off of, and they're crossing over, so that they're pushing off with this foot and crossing over to leave the plane, and it ends up making their body twisted or contorted or really awkward. It makes them head high. It can do all sorts of things. So here's a video right here of Sharon. Sharon was one of the first people actually that was talking to me about this. They go over exits in their course, the movement jumps course. They go over exits in great detail. Belly exits, back exits, inside the plane, outside the plane from the camera step. They go over everything. Lots of great stuff. But this is one of the things that she really covers quite a bit, and she worked with me on it, made a huge difference. So this video, if you'll notice, look at her feet, look at how she's setting up in the door. Right here, she's already got her feet in the position that she wants. Notice her left foot is right there on the edge of the door frame, so that she knows, she's already anticipating as she comes out, that's going to be the last thing. She's going to push off with that inside foot. Now watch, as she leaves the plane, she's leading with her hips, and notice right here, the very last piece of her body, the last thing to leave contact with the plane is that left foot, that right foot, that inside foot. So now that goes the same for on your back. You're gonna do the same thing, it would just be the opposite foot. So I know it sounds simple, it sounds kind of silly, but if you do this, if you start implementing this on your exits, you're gonna you're gonna see a big difference. It's gonna be so much easier to stay on heading, to stay with the group, to go exactly where you wanna go. Now, obviously there's other things you have to consider, but this is a big piece of the puzzle. And it's something that's easy to do. Now, somebody like Sharon, she has trained herself over and over and over so much that she doesn't even think about it anymore. I'm starting to get to the point where I don't think about it as much, but I still have to be conscientious of it. So the more you do it, the more it's just gonna become second nature. You're not even gonna think about it, you're gonna do it. But start trying this out, see how it works, see how it helps you. If you wanna learn more about exits, about angle flying, or anything skydiving related, we've got a lot of great courses over at cravetofly.com. We're going to be putting up more courses coming up soon, and so I think it'll help you guys out. You'll learn a lot of good stuff from great skydivers, really talented, skilled. It's going to help you be a better flyer and a safer skydiver. So go check it out, and we'll see you in the sky. Crave, do more, be better.